Hello, you amazing friends. This is your pal Edwards here with the legendary man from Newcastle, Mitch Toner. How you doing, Mitch Toner?
Hey, Ed. Really well, mate. And thanks for the introduction.
Oh, it's just such an honor to have you with us. And Mitch is a great friend of ours. If you just come in, smash that like, share, comment, and connect with Mitch. And also, too, we've got more live streams coming up. We're starting a brand new live stream series. So stay tuned. Keep your eyes open. It's going to be great. Now, Mitch Toner is a great friend of ours. And Mitch, before we dive on in, tell us something really funny and awesome about you, something we may not know that won't get you arrested by the Australian Federal Police.
Okay, something funny and awesome. Look, what I'm looking forward to most at the moment, I'm going to play tennis tonight. That's pretty cool. I play doubles tennis once a week. I've got a partner and
a beautiful tennis shirt. What do you think? I'm wearing a tennis shirt right now.
Gorgeous, Ed. It matches your complexion.
There we go. My purple birthmark, my purple shirt. So a tennis player, so how does it go? Do you win most of the time, or is it just for kicks, or are you drunk when you're playing? How does it go?
It's just for kicks. Look, the first round that I played was against some pretty serious players, and we got pumped. We only won 2 games off them. So we played 2 sets, and then it's a 7-week series. So they add up the total number of games that you win across the 7 weeks, and then they run a final series. And so tonight's the 3rd week, and on the first week, we only won 2 games. The most recent week, we actually won, which was great. And the competition was pretty fierce. It was a young couple who had never played together before.
Yeah.
Had some big serves, but we were able to overcome, and we beat them 2-0.
So was it your manly Mitchness that won the day?
I think it might have been, yeah.
There we go. Now, I was just going to say, for all you friends out there, Mitch is a great friend of ours. He's a communication and technology and also a business networking leader. And I've titled this live stream, Networking, Coffee and Life with Mitch Toner and Edwards here. So I want to ask you, Mitch, right? Tomorrow, you're running your first business networking meetup in Newcastle. And for those around the world, Newcastle, Australia is a mirror of Newcastle, UK. You're about, 3 hours north of Sydney by car, is that right?
By car, yeah. So to get to the CBD of Sydney, with traffic getting across the bridge, definitely 3 hours. Anywhere sort of north of the bridge, maybe 2.5. So, yeah.
Gotcha. And please, Mitch, tell us all about your meetup tomorrow. I'm so happy for you. Tell us what you got cooking.
Thank you, Ed. I'm pumped up too, mate. So what we've got cooking is a free networking meetup at the Newcastle Yacht Club, and it starts at 1 p.m, goes until 4 p.m, and it's social first for business owners to come in, collaborate, learn about what each other do, and just relax at the end of a long week. So, yeah, I'm really excited. We've got so far 60 RSVPs.
Wow.
And I was just on the phone to the yacht club this morning, actually. The team have upgraded us into a bigger room, which will be amazing. It's got some nice little lawn chairs with soft pillows on them, and it overlooks marina. So I'm looking forward to getting everyone together and taking a nice, big, happy photo.
And a bit of context for those around the world. Newcastle in Australia is a beautiful city. I know people from the United States who've come to Australia and moved to Newcastle, loving it that much. So it's a beautiful place, definitely God's country. Now, I was going to say, and I just want to check in with our fans. We've got amazing Kenneth with us, Kenneth Dunner from the US. Kenneth, great seeing you. Kenneth is a great friend of ours from back in the day. Pleasure to see you, Kenneth. And also, too, just look at my phone, we've got Belinda Paris, Mary Scott, heaps of cool people watching. So while you're here, say hello. I am tracking us on my beautiful Samsung mobile phone. Now, it's interesting, and I'm devil's advocate, of course, because I do this myself, but I noticed you're running this business networking meetup for free. Devil's advocate, you're crazy, Mitch. Why don't you charge money for it? Why would you run a networking event for free? Mitch, you're just clinically insane and you need therapy.
Well, funny you should say, Ed.
I'm getting therapy.
Yeah, definitely get therapy. If you think you should get therapy, go and get it. One of the most impactful things I've done in my life, by the way. So not currently in therapy, but has certainly helped me on my trajectory 100%. So, nothing against the clinically insane. However, running these free events is amazing. And I think actually having something free to promote has helped me in business as well. As funny as that might sound, The structure of the events themselves
Yeah.
are completely social.
What do you mean by that? Because that's important. Why does having something for free help your business? Can you unpack that a bit more, please, Mitch?
For sure. So having something for free gives me a nice reason to reach out to people and offer them immediate value with no expected return in value at all. What I'd love to do is actually just bring you along to my meetup where you can meet lots of my friends and mingle and have a great afternoon. So it's very much about giving and having something to give for free, which doesn't involve a sale whatsoever. It's a non-commercial. It's a non-commercial community. There's nothing to be paid for within the community, and I think knowing that and having that transparent upfront gives people a level of certainty, so that once they arrive, they know that they're not going to be sold to, and that the pressure is completely off them. They can just come to the yacht club and celebrate what was a great week.
Incredible. We've got amazing, speaking of networking leaders, we've got the amazing Felisa Moffat with us. Felisa Moffat's a great friend of ours. She's actually a property investor from the Gold Coast, and she's also helps run, and she's a co-host of our Brisbane meetup, and she's an amazing lady. So thumbs up to you, Felisa. Great having you with us. It's interesting. It's funny having this conversation. I've had this conversation many times over the years. As you know, we've run free business networking events for years, be it face-to-face Zooms or whatever. And what I find interesting is, and I can, obviously we're quite big at this and I can say this, it's funny, every time we run a free event, we always get a new client these days. So very rarely do I run an event and not get a client. At the very least, I'll get a lead out of it that turns into a client. So it's funny when you've been running these for a while, you get a lot of clients from it, but I love your mindset. I think when you do something for free in the community, it really builds a lot of goodwill. And you were saying to me the other day, you're already feeling a lot of that goodwill building already. Tell us more about that, Mitch Toner.
Most definitely. And, you know, just having that event to promote and inviting people along, I've already identified connections within the community that I've created. And so already, you know, to talk about the laws of influence, reciprocity is there straight away, right? And so to have that in my business has actually opened up opportunities for me where they spend enough time with me to know about my business. I run these amazing in-person events, plus also I run my communications business, which helps them to network online. And so they see what I do in both types, in online and in person. And then they say, hey, Mitch, what's this all about? How can you help me with my technology? And yeah, having the big free group there to promote gives me a great way to, I guess, prove what I can do with my technology as well.
Amazing. And talking more about Newcastle, Newcastle's a regional city. What's the population of Newcastle? What, 300, 400,000? Just something like that?
I would guess about 400, maybe 450, but let's do a Google.
Oh, there we go. There we go. So, yeah. And well,
508 as of 2021.
So that's probably there's probably more people in Newcastle that live in the whole island and state of Tasmania. That's incredible.
Poor Tassie.
Yeah, poor Tassie. They get a rub. Bronwyn Penhaligon, if you're watching, we're sorry. We love you, Bronwyn. It's interesting because the reason why I bring up Newcastle is, it's a beautiful city where a lot of Sydney-siders are moving there these days. But interesting, the bit I find amazing is that, and I've seen this, I saw this originally in the US, I saw this in the UK, and I've seen this in Australia, putting on my meetup hat. When you run a business networking event, especially in a regional city, I find it's actually easier to run a networking meetup in a regional city than it is a big city. So, for example, in Sydney, you've got every man and his dog runs a meetup, whereas in a place like Newcastle, it'll pretty much be you and 3 other people. Like, I imagine you've already cornered the market straight off the bat. Is that a fair remark, Mitch?
It definitely feels like it. So tomorrow is our first event, and when I look at the other groups on Meetup, there are, you know, a few others around. I think I've got the highest attendance for the meetups hosted this week, which feels great. It's going to become real once we're all in the room together. But it certainly feels like this is the way people are wanting to network now. Because I also feel that in my time doing lots of organizational type networking, it made it hard for me to bring more people in, or it made it hard for the people I brought in to bring people as well, right? So
what do you mean by that? Can you unpack that a bit more, Mitch? What do you mean?
For sure. What's been so fantastic about having a free and public event is that if I invite somebody and maybe they're a little bit anxious about coming to a meetup,
Sure.
they're more than welcome to bring a friend. They, because there's nothing commercial about it, it's not an extra charge, it's not an extra fee. And so maybe a business professional wants to bring a colleague. Maybe it's the senior at work who's really good at networking and they want to bring along, the junior who started 3 weeks ago and wants to experience what it's like to hold a conversation with other professionals. I think that having that free model opens up that opportunity so that others can position themselves as leaders too, not just the organizational team.
That's why we love you, Mitch. Just want to check in with our fans. We've got Venice Gerald with us. Venice, great point. Free service is a good deed on my behalf. That's why. Is it Venice or Venice? My apologies. I got a Arabic background, gives you a slight French accent. I'll add a little French back in the day. And we've got Peter Way with us. Peter Way is actually one of our new friends from Brisbane who I get to see next week. And interestingly, while Peter Way's here, Peter Way, who's with us, great seeing you, Peter, I met at one of our meetups. So there you go. And I think it's really funny. I think it's really fascinating what you're saying because look, obviously, we run a massive meetup community, big shout out to Lassie. We're obviously business leaders. And no one questions what we do anymore. So what I was saying that was fascinating is that when we were one of the first in Australia to start running free events the way that we run them, right? About 8 years ago, we started. We were one of the first in Australia. And we copped a lot of criticism back in the day. I had people from other business networks actually ring me up, and one of them abused me very badly, saying that through my free meetup, you're actually devaluing everything. Right. And I popped so much abuse at the time from quite a few people. Now, interestingly, like 8 years later, one of the people that abused me apologized and is actually now a regular at our Sydney meetup. So, what's your reaction to that one, Mitch?
Yeah, it's interesting. And I think I'm probably going to start to deal with the same challenges that you've had, right? And I think it takes a lot of courage to stand out and do something different. So, when people see something that makes them feel a little bit uncomfortable, they can react irrationally. But I'm very confident in the approach, and particularly through your guidance and mentorship in how to set it up and deal with the skeptics, which we love. They give us a chance to correct them and explain our position further too. But yeah, I think that coming back to the criticisms that I'm going to face, starting up the group, I'm actually not concerned because on my behalf, it's not commercial. So really, I don't have a lot to worry about. So if they're upset, it's not really my problem.
You're so stoic. You're like one of those guys on YouTube that interviews crazy people, and you're the rational one, and the one screaming at you.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I need to react to a very, very powerful lady, Sharon Toner, who's with us now. Now, I don't know, when we first saw Sharon, because Sharon looks so beautiful and amazing, Lassie and I thought she was like your sister or something like that. But Sharon's like your mum, is that correct?
That's my mum, so powerful Shaz.
Shaz.
Yep, so Shaz lives in the Hunter Valley with me as well. However, I'm closer towards the lake. Shaz is even more sort of rural. So, Cessnock?
Oh, like the Navy town.
Yeah, yep. So out past Cessnock, she's in a small town called Ellalong past there. And what she does is she's a civil celebrant. So destination weddings in the Hunter Valley.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And so big shout out to Sharon. Sharon and I actually had a chat, and I think at some point I commended her on raising such a handsome, I thought she was like your older sister or something. Like, I don't know. So Sharon, like, she must have had you at 13 or something. Must have been.
Yeah, look, Ed, you wouldn't be the only one to make that comment.
There we go. But great reaction from your mum. There you go. I was at a paid networking breakfast this morning, and I was asked if I was going to Mitch's meetup. So there you go. They probably don't know that Sharon's your mum. There you go.
We probably need to come out in support of each other.
Yeah. Now, I was going to ask, the obvious question, is your mum going to come to your meetup?
She will be there. 100%.
There we go. I've invited, my mum's lives in Melbourne. I've invited my mum many times to our meetups, but she's always busy on the days. There you go. So you got to get.
Unfortunate.
I can't wait till we get a mother and son selfie at your meetup. I can't wait till we get it.
It's going to be great. Well, I think we're actually going to have a glass of champagne, perhaps. So you might get a little celebration selfie.
Yeah. So, part of my arrogant Sydney side of self. So, I'm always wrong here. So, you got Lake Macquarie, is that right? Then north is Newcastle, and then you got Cessnock. So, Lake Macquarie is different to Newcastle, yeah? Is that like a different region or something?
Yeah, it is a different region, but there's the Hunter Valley, which sort of crosses over both.
Yeah.
So geographically, Newcastle is kind of similar to Sydney. You know how the CBD is focused in one corner and everyone...
Yeah.
Thanks, Chaz.
I'm just reacted. I was very young. So there we go. Definite teen pregnancy. But the dad must have been a very sexy guy. So there you go.
Oh. So Newcastle's very similar to Sydney, where, you know, the CBD is sort of in one corner. Yep. And so to make your way in, you've sort of got to come from the west to the east. And so Lake Macquarie is a little bit south, more towards Sydney. And then, yeah, that's where you've got the Central Coast. But the northern part of Lake Macquarie is more so, you know, Hunter Valley, Newcastle area, up through Warners Bay to Charlestown. Yeah. You'd sort of say it's Newcastle, but technically it's Lake Macquarie.
Yeah, gotcha. It's funny talking Charlestown, where back in the day, we were friends and we got really good rates. We stayed at the McCure property in Charlestown.
Great spot.
And what's interesting, we were friends with the GM back in the day, and we got a crazy rate, right? Like a ridiculous rate, right?
Nice.
And what was interesting is that we were talking to him back in the day, and a lot of military people stay there. So you've got like Boeing and Raytheon. So it's basically it's where all the creepy military contractors go and stay. So I thought it was it was just fitting for my background as well.
There you go. There's a great pool out the back too. Me and my bookkeeper sometimes catch up and go over some numbers while we sit by the pool.
There you go. I'm going to say you really made it. So now what's interesting, and it's great to have your mum with us, and big hello to Sharon, amazing lady, right, is, you know, you've got kahunas, Mitch. I'm sure you've heard this before. You got big kahunas. Nothing phases you. Was that your mum's influence? Did your mum, is your mum sort of like, are you like Richard Branson? Your mum just rose you as that leader. Where does your confidence and resolve come from? So I know people triple your age that are a tenth as confident as you. Where does that come from in your case, Mitch? Because it's such an admirable trait.
Oh, thank you, Ed. You're such a gentleman for that. And yeah, so Shaz is a powerful figure in her own right, for sure. And I guess it was through tough times growing up and the way that Shaz handled, you know, the family life and stuff that she stood strong and backed me up too. And so, you know, Shaz and I have had a great bond since probably, you know, since I was 13, 14, where we sort of went, we got to do this, otherwise our life's not going to change, right? And Shaz changed the game in a big way. And she's always taken her career seriously, but, you know, through tough times, you double down and you get stuff done. So that was Shaz. And yeah, I've got lots of respect for the way Shaz behaved during that time. And she really led by example in, you know, having such a stern work ethic. And there's so many problems that pop up, particularly for Shaz, you know, as a female leader in a male-dominated industry. Lots of females feel that they aren't comfortable to ask a question in a room full of males.
Yeah,
I'm sure females can relate to that. I don't think I'm saying anything too unfair.
No.
But to see my mum stand out and, you know, speak up and stand on her values at that time too, you know, was really influential. And I guess I just carried that with me, you know. Anything that I've ever approached, I've taken that same mindset where if I know I'm correct, I'm willing to stand up for it. And so I'd say that was Shaz's influence on me. And in business, she's always been a fantastic leader and handled major projects at a national and international level. So yeah, been very inspiring and a major part of my story.
Well, I imagine Sharon must be very proud. Her son's now going to launch a top meetup and take over the Newcastle Hunter Valley region. And there we go. So incredible.
So, Ed, we've talked about me, but what's new for you, mate? Anything burning? You must be burning to talk about Peter Dutton or something.
Oh, Peter Dutton, Liberal. It's interesting, actually. Well, one thing that we've been doing, and credit to Lassie here, and thank you for supporting us too, Mitch. Our business is really, and I've been saying this before, so bit of context. So I used to be one of Sydney's top marketing consultants back in the day, and used to make a lot of money, but it's very burnout sort of work. Anyway, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, we started moving in the LinkedIn influencer direction, like as in LinkedIn running business networks. And what happened was lockdown hit, the whole lockdown fiasco, and a lot of our marketing work that I had for years all dried up. So we basically were forced into the LinkedIn networking business a lot faster than we anticipated. And interestingly, it's been fascinating the past few years because quite often we'd run meetup after meetup after meetup, and sometimes you question it. I remember sometimes we question what we're doing. Where now it's beyond question because now we've been around for a while. We've got the groups. We just have a stream, and we say this with gratitude and thank you to our followers out there. We have such a stream of clients coming to us. So I think it's very interesting how things have changed. And Lassie's done an amazing job. And lately, on a funny note, a few people have noticed I've actually been, I say this with shame, but honestly, I've always had problems with food. I've always had problems with some form of, binge eating addiction my whole life. Always had trouble there. And a lot of people said, "Ed, I can see your neck again and my shirt's getting loose." So I've been working really, it's not easy, but I've been working really hard to sort of deal with my food problems. So it's been business-wise really good. Credit to Lassie. But yeah, dealing with my food problems. So it's been a crazy one, Mitch. I don't know if you've got any addictions or anything, but I've always had trouble with food my whole life. And I really want to deal with it now once and for all.
Yeah, I've had problems with things like that before, and I wouldn't. Addiction and dependence, when I've worked with my psych on different things, I think I've had a problem before with comfort-seeking behaviors. So you know what it's like after a long day. This is how I'd explain it to him. Yeah, comfort seekers, right? So you get home and you're just like, "Oh, it's been so stressful. I just want to kick my feet. Just take my shoes off, kick my feet up, and crack a cold beer because I just want to relax now." And it's that impulse to get it. So yeah, I've been there. I've dealt with that. It's still part of the everyday thing. But even the other day, I think I commented I was rummaging through the fridge before bed, and I was thinking, I just want something to eat. Like this will make me feel better, and then I'll go to sleep. But I had to stop myself and just had a deep breath and went to sleep.
It's not easy. So for me, it's been, and credit to Lassie and all our friends as well for supporting me. But yeah, I've been it's been really good because this shirt was skin tight. Now it's kind of getting baggy the way it should be. Right. So for me, it's been a lot of, just not falling into the old habits again. And I just want to react as well. Your wonderful mother, Sharon, says the tears are real. Cheers, mate. Well, there you go. All I can say to you, Sharon, is you must be so proud, so proud, and so proud. And I think she'll be 10 times as proud tomorrow when she sees your meetup in full action. So exciting times, isn't it, Mitch?
Most definitely, Ed. I'm really pumped and excited every day I wake up at the moment. I'm full of energy to get stuff done because, having something like this just magnetizes me to the work. So, it's great times. I'm really excited.
And very good. I'm going to say you're an amazing man. Thank you for the live stream. Just a bit of commentary for our audience. We're actually going to be doing a lot more live streams. So you're going to see more Edward Zia and Mitch coming up. So Mitch, I'm going to say you're an amazing conversationalist. And just a bit of trivia for you. Before you went into business for yourself, and congratulations, what were some of your previous roles? Because you've got some really good management, customer service skills. I've always said you remind me of a JB Hi-Fi manager. They only hire the best. I could imagine you running a JB Hi-Fi. You're that good.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So some of my experience, it started really technical in a network operations center for TPG, and that was shift work, sort of after hours, monitoring undersea fiber cables and, doing radio reports for the government radio network. So that was quite technical. And then I left.
Would a shift like 12-hour shifts? Was like 12-hour shifts?
12-hour shifts. It was actually a really horrible roster. So if the week started on a Monday, I'd get to the office at 7:30 a.m., work through to 7:30 p.m. Wow. Same thing on Tuesday, but then on Wednesday, it would flip to a night shift and be 7:30 p.m. to a.m. Same thing Thursday, 7:30 p.m. to a.m. And the following week, so that it'd be 4 on, 4 off, and then the following week would start on Tuesday, and the same thing. So it would continually be rotating. It's a pretty horrible roster, actually, and that's why I left, just because I couldn't have any sense of work-life balance around that. As glamorous as the work was, I just couldn't do it anymore. So
imagine TPG is a really good company. So I imagine, following on from my JB Hi-Fi, would have been like that. I imagine it was that high pressure environment that made you such a good manager. Is that a fair comment, Mitch?
Probably not that experience. I'd say it made me very attentive because I had to be able to detect problems early and escalate them. So it was a very rigid structure that I had to work in. But I'd say in small business was where I got most of my experience, when, it was me and 3 other guys in the team. And if there was a project to be completed, I would take the lead. And actually, I'd start it from pre-sales through to sales, implementation, support. So that would be where I got most of my business experience in the real world stuff, was working in small business, delivering projects for clients. I did that for about 6 years and supported a help desk around that too, which have had about 7 people on it. So, yeah, it was quite a complex operation. I'd say that's where I got most of my business smarts, through that, and also reading and self-development. It's what I'm passionate about. So I'm a bit of a business geek.
Oh, there we go. I'm just a geek. There we go. As you can tell by my Fallout background. There we go. It's a bit of trivia. So, and now you recognize this background immediately. Do you know what this background is?
I recognize it, Ed, but I'm not super familiar with the series.
Yeah, there we go. So this is from the video game series Fallout. It's actually a bit of trivia. I don't know if you know this or not. Fallout, which is billion-dollar franchise, right? It's been around for, must be like almost 20 years, multi-billion-dollar franchise. Bethesda got bought out by Microsoft. So it's actually now owned by Microsoft, of all things. Bethesda got bought out by Microsoft. But these are the 3 characters from the Amazon show. So on this side is Maximus, who's the insecure Brotherhood of Steel Knight that does the right thing. On my shoulder here, of course, is Lucy McLean, who's the star of the show. And you can't tell, but lying on the couch is the villain, the villain-tearing hero, the Ghoul, who's basically played by Walton Goggins. He's basically Clint Eastwood of the future. Nice. So there we go. And of course, dog meat over there holding a human hand.
I didn't see that earlier.
Yeah, so a lot of people forget dog meat, and I think that's just if you forget, his name's actually called Dog Meat. So there you go. There he's holding a human hand, which is just great. Yeah, but no, I'm a complete geek, and big thank you, Bill. Bill said, "Well done, Edward and Mitch," and just jumping into there as well, my amazing friends. Also, too, look. Please connect with Mitch and myself over LinkedIn. We'd love to hear from you. If you are as well from, please connect with Mitch regardless of where you're from. However, in particular, if you are from like north of Sydney and Lake Macquarie, the Hunter Valley, definitely talk to Mitch about his meetup. So tell us, give us the detail about your meetup tomorrow. Tell us exactly the timing, location, everything. Give me the spiel.
Yep. So we're at 95 Hannell Street, Wickham, which is the Newcastle Cruising Yacht Club. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. and we go through to 4 p.m. That's the deal.
Cool. And you just go there, buy your own lobster and beer or whatever you're into.
That's it. Come along. You'll see me there. I'll bring you in. I'll introduce you to some of my friends, and it'll be a nice afternoon where we actually just got upgraded to the regatta room. So we're overlooking the marina. There's a nice bar. There's a great restaurant as well. I love the tempura zucchini flowers. They're delicious. And so that's what will be happening there. You can come and see me, see all my friends.
I like that. I love it. I love the tempura zucchini flowers. I'm from St Kilda, so I'm from St Kilda. That's what we call it. Tempura zucchini flowers.
You want to have a tempura zucchini flower with me? We can come down to the club 1 p.m. until 4 p.m.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, I can't because what it is, just I'm in Melbourne tomorrow running our meetup. Which but at one point when you are on my list to get there when if I get a Friday available or there's a change in days, I will be there. I think it's amazing. And Bill Ashford just said, "Sorry, I won't be able to attend, Mitch. Would be good to catch up again." So I guess Bill's going to take a rain check on that one. So
no problem. We'll catch up next time, mate. But Ed, tell me more about your Melbourne meetup.
Yeah, tell you. So Melbourne meetup is actually massive now. We've got over 200 people booked in tomorrow.
Great.
So probably about 120 will come. It's on tomorrow, Friday, 1 p.m. at Pullman, Melbourne on the Park. It's a beautiful meetup. It's very much same model as yours. It's the Meetup Australia model that we're all following, all free to attend. And it's really good. And Pullman, Melbourne on the Park is actually a bit of trivia about the property. It's Pullman, so it's like 5-star sort of level. But it's actually a sports hotel. So what happens is it's just down the road from the MCG, which is the Melbourne Cricket Ground. And a bit of trivia for you. What happens is they only found this out a few months ago. They have whole floors in that hotel where whole sporting teams will stay during, like the upmarket sporting teams will actually stay there. And they actually have whole levels that you can book out, that you can access through a secret underground. So you can actually access the whole floor there without any public area. So from a security point of view, you could be like a minister or a famous person. You can get in and out, no one can see, and you can actually go this whole level without any public areas.
I wonder if you can do like a Undertaker style entrance to your meetup where you just pop up out of the floor.
Oh, there you go. I love the Undertaker back in the day. But it's fascinating actually. They've had prime ministers stay there too. They've had like top ministers. So it's you get a lot of because it's Pullman, you get a lot of people from the government, the sporting team stay there as well. But the sporting team will actually hire out the whole floor, and my friend Stefan told me this. They'll even have their own catering. So what will happen is it even goes as far, they even have a kitchen up there. So quite often the actual floor will have its own kitchen, and their own chefs will take over the kitchen and make all the food exactly for their team.
Wow. 5-star service. That sounds great.
Yeah, so really...
And is that where you book a room where you stay down there too? You stay at the Pullman?
Oh, no. So the answer is not yet, but the plan will be the plan later on. So they've already said to me, basically, hi, Ed, you give us a lot of money. Like, as I bring them a lot of money. Hi, Ed, we'll just... Basically, what a lot of hotels do is they don't give you free rooms per se, but they give you the staff rate, right? And they'll just upgrade you. So they won't say stay here for free. And I'm not like that. They'll say, penny capacity, hey, Ed, just pay us some paltry amount and we'll give you something crazy.
Great.
So that, I'll wait till I'm with the family. So I'll save up my Ed asking for shit credits for when Lassie and the kids are around, which is really good.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And that LinkedIn, I don't know why it does it. StreamYard always calls Felice and Moffat LinkedIn user. It just does. It must be a StreamYard bug. But that's Felice and Moffat there. Sounds really exciting, Mitch. I'm up on the Gold Coast, have an awesome meetup. I think it's just great. So I was going to say thank you for the live stream. Before we finish up, Mitch, is there anything else crazy or funny you want to tell us? Any cool stories or anything you got on your mind?
Crazy or funny? Nothing really, Ed. I'm just on a steady path at the moment, mate. I'm locked in. Looking forward to playing tennis tonight. Hopefully we come home with a win and then straight off to the meetup tomorrow. So I'm just...
Now, I don't need to tell you, can you take 1 million photos tomorrow and get a great group photo? I don't need to tell you that, do I?
No, not at all, mate. There will be 1,000. There'll be so many.
Yeah, so I want to finish my meetup, and that night when I'm traveling back from Melbourne, I want my LinkedIn feed to be all Mitch Toner, Mitch Toner, Mitch Toner, Mitch Toner, Sharon Toner, Mitch Toner,
Sharon Toner and Mitch Toner.
Yeah, it's like Mitch Toner, Sharon Toner, Mitch Toner, Sharon Toner. I'm Sharon Toner. There you go.
We'll have to orchestrate something.
There you go. No, big thank you. But no, just to our fans around the world, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more live streams. Again, please speak to Mitch. He's a great person to network with. And also to Mitch is a technology and communications guy. So Mitch, just want to say a big thank you. And Mitch, thank you for your time. I take it you're off to make some phone calls now and get to work for tomorrow?
That's it, mate. Straight into it.
There we go. I'm off to Woolworths after this because we've run out of salary and the kids need it tomorrow when I'm in Melbourne. So there we go. You got to have your salary.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a priority. That's a P1, as we'd call it back in TPG.
P1, priority one.
Yep, P1, mate. So straight on to that.
Friends, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone. Please like, share, comment. And Mitch, we appreciate you, my friend. Stay awesome, everyone. Keep winning.